You're listening to Catholic Chicago. Ahead, the Archdiocese of Chicago brings you programs about the people, events, and issues that touch our lives. Thanks for letting us be part of your morning. Now again, Catholic Chicago.
Good morning and welcome to the Voice of Charity. I'm Katie Bredemann, and we hope you had a wonderful Christmas celebration with your family and your friends. We send continued Merry Christmas greetings to all who are listening on WNDZ 750 AM here in Chicago, and all who are watching our live stream on YouTube and Facebook at Catholic Chicago. On this, the last Voice of Charity show for 2023, we'd like to take a closer look at where Catholic Charities' housing and homelessness prevention programs stand today. Catholic Charities staff members in Cook and Lake counties are incredibly knowledgeable and resourceful in coming up with ways to help everyone who reaches out to us for housing assistance, using our own housing options and referring people to other housing options across Cook and Lake counties. Here to provide an update on this critical service area are Angela Bailey, Associate Vice President for our Seniors Impact Area, and Millicent Ntiamoah, Associate Vice President for Catholic Charities Homelessness Prevention Services. Welcome, Angela and Millicent. Thanks so much for being with us today. Can we make sure that your audio is turned up loud enough to hear your responses? Great. Can you say good morning again, just so we can make sure we hear you?
Good morning.
Okay, awesome.
Good morning.
Thank you so much. Millicent, can we start with you? Facing housing insecurity is a terrible reality for anyone. Can you please describe how Catholic Charities assist those who reach out to us when they're homeless or on the verge of being homeless?
Yeah, good morning. Good morning again, Kathy, and thank you for inviting me to the show. Catholic Charities, has a long history of providing housing to vulnerable populations in both Lake and Cook County. So some of the services that we provide are homelessness prevention, which, is one of the programs under my purview. So this program is geared towards folks that are behind with their rents due to a variety of reasons, like the people that we serve, as you are aware, mostly the low-income, households. So somebody might not get enough hours at work. Somebody might be the children might be sick, and therefore they might have to take off work without having sick time, and because of that they might lose income. So they might not be able to pay their rent, or might be behind with the rent. So those are the kind of people that come to us. So if you are behind with your rent, we will assist you to catch up, going forward, so that so you don't get evicted and become homeless again. So that's the group that the homelessness prevention is geared towards too. So if you live in the Chicago area and you are facing this kind of issue, you can dial 311 and then ask for short-term help. If you live in suburban Cook, you can dial 877-426-6515. And if you live in Lake County, you can dial 211 and ask for assistance to assist you in getting the help that you need to pay the back rent.
And so that's for homelessness prevention. And then I know that you also help folks who are already homeless and living in shelters, correct?
Yes, I was going to talk about that. The second program is for those that are already homeless. So the first one is to prevent people from becoming homeless and coming into the system. The second program is to assist those that are already homeless and living in shelters. And as HUD says, place not meant for human habitation. So those are the kind of people that we assist with housing too. So for those group of people that are already in shelters or living in a place not meant for human habitation, they can call the coordinated entry system if you live in the city of Chicago, which is at 312-361-1010. 1707. They'll complete an assessment on you and put you on the wait list for housing. So, but if you live in suburban Cook, you need to call 877-426-6515, and they'll do an assessment and put you on the wait list for housing for suburban Cook. And the same apply for those that live in Lake County. They can call the 211 number for an assessment to be done, and they put on the wait list for housing.
So that's really a well-organized system for helping those who are on the verge of being homeless and also those who are already homeless. These numbers are also on CatholicCharities.net if people want to go and refer to those numbers there for assistance. You know, Millicent, can you just tell us in total how many people does Catholic Charities serve who are in those two categories each year?
Well, I know last year for FY23, we served almost 4,500 people.
4,500. That's just an amazing number of people to not only try to assist, but then follow up and make sure, you know, that they're doing okay. And I know that you mentioned the CES Coordinated Entry System is a really sophisticated computer program so that different community partners enter people who are reaching out to them. They enter information about each person who's reaching out to them, and then whatever partner has available housing, they take that person off the list and follow up with that person, correct?
Yes.
And so, can you talk Can you talk a little bit more about that community partner and some of the other community partners that we work with in tandem to keep people housed in stable housing?
Okay, so within the city of Chicago, I mean, we have, you know, there's different nonprofit agencies that get funding from different sources that, you know, provide, you know, this service to the homeless population. And, you know, some of our bigger partners within the city, like DFSS fund a lot of the homeless services within the city of Chicago. And then for you know, DSS, which is the Department of Family and Support Services, they fund a lot of the homeless services within the city of Chicago. We also work with All Chicago, which is the lead agency for the Chicago COC, which is the Continuum of Care. And then for Suburban Cook, we work with the Alliance to End Homelessness in Suburban Cook, and that's the lead agency for Suburban Cook. And then we also work with the state, which is IDH, Illinois Department of Human Services. You know, that fund a lot of the homeless services within the state, the city and the suburb. And then on the federal level, we work with HUD, which is Department of Housing and Urban Development, and then the Veteran Affairs, to fund most of our homeless services.
It's a real credit to you, Millicent, and to the team that you work with to understand the intricacies of each of these community partners and work in tandem with them all day, every day, you know, to try to take as many people off that list as possible and find them stable housing. You do a tremendous job. You know, can you also talk a little bit about Catholic Charities' other programs and services? We have such a wide, vast network of resources, and I'm wondering how once you help provide someone with some stable housing, how do we then educate them about other Catholic Charities programs and services and possibly get a case manager assigned to them so that you can assist them in the root causes of why perhaps they became on the verge of being homeless?
Yes, thank you for that. After the family is housed and they have a place to call home, our case managers provide case management services to assist these families identify and access resources to improve their level of functioning. Okay, some of the services that we provide to them after their house is, you know, counseling, because, you know, being homeless is very traumatic, you know, for some other people. So we provide them with counseling if they need to. If they don't have a job, we provide them with employment services. And when they get a job, we provide them with budgeting. If they have some legal issues within the Catholic Charity system, we have the legal services that we can refer them to. And then we assist them to apply for mainstream resources like TANF, SNAP, you know, SSI, and all these other services. And because Catholic Charities has a lot of programs, it's a little bit easier for us to refer them internally to some of our programs within the agency. So it makes it a very seamless, you know, services that, you know, they can get, you know, while they're in the program.
Well, it's such a complicated system, but you're making it all so simple and explaining it to how Catholic Charities can be there with people and for people, accompanying them if they're on the verge of homeless, but then supporting them once we get to know what their situation is. It's really quite impressive, Millicent. And I know that on so many people's minds are the asylum seekers, the 27,000 new arrivals to Chicago over the past 2 years, really. And I'm just wondering, where in this homeless system does Catholic Charities start to play a role in trying to assist them? Is it the people who are on the verge of being homeless, or is it the ones who are already in the shelter that we start to assist? Where do we meet the asylum seekers and start assisting them?
Yes, I know, and ever since this asylum, issue came, Catholic Charities have been very instrumental in collaborating with the state to assist a lot of these asylum seekers. But from my understanding, asylum seekers that are in shelters, Catholic Charities have been contracted with the state to house about 500 people every month. So you have to be in one of the city shelters to work with Catholic Charities to get housing.
Okay. And I have a few statistics to share with everyone, too, that really shows how tremendous our response has been. We've now assisted 12,630 asylum seekers in their resettlement, and that means that Catholic Charities has directly supported nearly half of the 27,000 individuals who've arrived in Chicago since August of 2022. We have a team of 60 bilingual staff members who are responding every day, and we have helped more than 2,800 of these migrants joined other loved ones in other cities, and the costs of that relocation program have been provided by the state of Illinois. We've also connected 8,600 migrants to long-term housing, and as Millicent said, those are folks who were in shelters that we've now helped establish long-term housing for them. We're also partnering with nearly 30 parishes who want to offer financial support and or direct accompaniment to asylum seekers for several months as they get settled. And then, as you mentioned, Millicent, anybody that is working with Catholic Charities is also offered access to all of our established programs so that they can get food and clothing and any other needs that they have, counseling, legal assistance. So it's really been amazing how Catholic Charities has stepped up and in such a significant way, working with our city and state partners to help the asylum seekers. So thank you for clarifying where that entry point begins. I'd like to just now also discuss Catholic Charities' housing options for seniors as we talk about homelessness and housing options that we're working on this winter. Angela, I know that you are such a leader in the senior department, helping with so many aspects of our senior care to over 80,000 people across Cook and Lake County every year. Can you tell everybody and remind them about the wonderful housing options that we offer to seniors on an ongoing basis?
Well, Catholic Charities has 22 affordable housing residences for seniors. We normally have seniors that average maybe about 12 years in our buildings, but we do have some that have been in our buildings over 20 years. So we're very proud of that because seniors see Catholic Charities as not just a place to live, but a place to grow old. And so we take pride in that. What we do is when a senior contacts us interested in housing, we assist them with completing an application. Our staff reviews the application to determine income eligibility, make sure the signatures are in the right place. The senior provides us with a photo ID, and then they're added to a wait list. And with that wait list, they're determined if they have a preference such as homeless or residency. Once that applicant moves up on the list, then the application goes through our compliance department for review. And once they're cleared and slated to move in, we assist them with the move-in process.
And across these 22 affordable housing residences, these aren't just basic apartment buildings. They're wonderful communities where people can feel safe and appreciated and valued. There's so many wonderful activities that go on. Can you talk a little bit about all of the amenities that are offered at these housing residences?
Absolutely. So I don't want people to think we don't work hard because we really work hard. But this year, we did a lot of fun activities, a lot of celebrating. We were coming out of the pandemic and trying to get people, active and engaged again. So this year we actually celebrated 5 centenarians. We had 5 residents who turned 100 in 2023.
That's
so we
amazing.
had individual celebrations for each one.
Yeah.
We also incorporated like these new created holidays that are a thing now. So like National Coca-Cola Day is in May. And so every senior in our buildings got a can of Coca-Cola, and we took pictures so that they could have a Coke and a smile. We did National Jukebox Day, which is in November. And so they were able to listen to songs from like the 50s and the 60s. We've been doing a lot of activities just to get them back active, and they were so isolated during the pandemic. So we've just been trying to have fun and just create a nice warm atmosphere for them.
Those are really wonderful highlights to feature for 2023, Angela. If you'll please bear with us, we're going to take a break here on The Voice of Charity. And when we return, we're going to continue our conversation with Millicent and Angela about Catholic Charities' homelessness prevention and housing services. Please stay tuned.
For more than 20 years, Catholic Charities Adult Protective Services has been advocating for seniors who are the victims of abuse, neglect, confinement, or financial exploitation. With our partners at local, city, and state agencies, our trained case managers follow through on every concern that is brought to our attention in a cooperative way to ensure that our seniors are safe and protected. According to the Illinois Department on Aging, last year nearly 21,000 cases of elder abuse were reported in Illinois. Of these, only 5% were reported by seniors themselves. So raising awareness is an important part of this issue. If you are concerned about a senior you know, call 800-252-8966. That's 800-252-8966. With your help, we can stop elder abuse and look out for the seniors in our lives.
This is year 44 for me teaching. When I started here, there were teachers here that had taught me when I was a student. Now I'm the old person. Right now, I teach junior high math. I love when kids find what I'm teaching to be fun, and they get it. I see that light bulb go off, and it's a thrill. People are always amazed. What? You're here for 44 years? It's hard for me to believe, frankly. I love what I do. Every summer I think, oh, I miss the classroom. Even on the weekends, I think I can't wait to get back on Monday and teach those quadratic equations.
Shape the next generation of leaders. Teach. Apply today at archchicago.org/schooljobs.
Catholic Charities' Refugee Resettlement Program has been especially busy this year, assisting individuals and families who have fled dangerous situations in their homeland, including Afghanistan and the Ukraine. The Refugee Resettlement Team helps with everything they need to start to rebuild their lives in a new country, including housing, employment, clothing, food, English classes, and referrals for legal and immigration services. The refugees are tremendously grateful for the compassion and practical help they're receiving, and they're giving back and helping each other plan for a brighter, safer future. Volunteer opportunities are currently available for those who would like to be family mentors and tutors, so children and adults can practice English. To learn more about these rewarding opportunities, call 312-655-7096. That's 312-655-7096.
Welcome back to The Voice of Charity. I'm Katie Bredemann, and as we close out 2023 with this last Voice of Charity show before the new year, we would like to have this conversation about housing and homelessness prevention programs at Catholic Charities. In fiscal year 2023, we served over 4,500 people who came to us who were either on the verge of being homeless or who were already homeless and either having no housing or living in shelters. And so we helped provide them with stable housing, and I'm so pleased to be with two of the ladies who have been instrumental in Catholic Charities' success in that regard. Today we have Angela Bailey, who is Associate Vice President of Seniors Impact Area, our Senior Impact Area, and also Millicent Ntiamoah, who's Associate Vice President of Catholic Charities Homeless Prevention Services. And so, Angela and Millicent, before the break, we were talking about how our housing programs work in tandem with so many state and city officials and organizations. And we also talked about Catholic Charities senior affordable housing residences. Angela, I'd like to talk a little bit more about that and ask you if you could please describe some of the ways that Catholic Charities supports seniors who want to stay in their homes and live independently for as long as possible.
Absolutely. So we have service coordinators that work in each one of our senior buildings, and they can assist seniors with signing up for home delivered meals or home care assistance. If they need emergency home response, they assist them with getting discount on prescription drugs, transportation. If they need socialization, they can connect them to a senior center. They help them with getting set up with an automated medicine dispenser. They also can connect them with ESS funds to assist with like small home repairs or even durable medical equipment up to $500.
Those are wonderful wraparound services that seniors might not take advantage of all of them, but whenever they have a need for one or more of them, they know that Catholic Charities is there for them. Can I also ask, Angela, winter can be tough for seniors in a number of ways. Do you have any tips that you could offer seniors in our audience for staying busy and active in these cold winter months?
Oh, absolutely. So during the pandemic, we had to be really creative, and so we started virtual book clubs where seniors could get on Zoom and have their own book clubs. We did chair exercises by video, computer classes, also puzzles, specifically crossword puzzles, or even those 500 to 1,000 piece puzzles, because they keep actually both sides of the mind really sharp. And so we encourage seniors to participate in things like that. And if they want to do it as a group, come down to our community spaces. We will provide a few snacks and they can share the puzzles with their fellow residents just to keep them active and engaged.
And if anybody in our audience would like to learn more about connecting with these programs, what's the best way for them to reach out to Catholic Charities?
They can call 312-655-7700. They can also email gethelp@catholiccharities.net. And they can visit our website at catholiccharities.net. Or they can also call 312-655-7440.
Wonderful. Those are great resources. Can I also ask both you, Millicent and Angela, could you please share a story or two about people who became homeless suddenly or over time and how Catholic Charities has been able to help them find stable housing and greater stability in their lives? Millicent, can I start with you?
Yes. We had a family, and I'm going to call them Mary. This is a single mother with 3 kids. When she came to us, she was coming from a shelter, and she was working for CPS in the lunchroom. This mom was extremely motivated because she wanted to provide a better life for her 3 children. So she was in constant contact with her case manager, to help her, get her staff together so she can create a better life. So she did a budget with her, so that she knows where her money is, from going. And she started, based on the budget, she had enough to start putting a little bit away. She worked with a job developer to enhance her resume. We have a job developer as part of the program. So those that don't have jobs that come to us, we refer them to our job developer to assist them to locate employment. So she worked with the job developer to enhance her resume and apply for other jobs within the CPS system. And fortunately for her, she got a better job. So she wanted permanent housing because our program is it's not permanent, it's a short term. We pay the rental. We pay the rental amount for a short period of time. So she wanted to be able to have a place permanently that she can call her own, and she was interested in becoming a homeowner. So we refer her to the Habitat for Humanity program. She went through that, and they were able to help her build a house, and now she lives comfortably in the Grand Crossing neighborhood in a home that she helped build herself. So that's a wonderful success story for our program.
That really is a wonderful success story, because it not only shows how Catholic Charities was there for Mary, but it also shows her own desire, her own, wanting to strive for greater independence and greater stability in her lives. In so many cases, these folks just all of a sudden find them in this situation that they don't want to be in, and they just need the opportunity, the programs, the knowledge, so that they can emerge out of their situation. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's a great story. How about you, Angela? Have another story or two to add about homelessness and how Catholic Charities was there for them?
Well, we had a senior that was living with her son. Her son actually passed away, and he didn't have a lot of papers in order. And so it turned out that she ended up in a shelter. She reached out to us for assistance. We set her up with an ESL class because she was limited English speaking. We also got her involved in the senior employment program. She was able to get hired by one of our partnering agencies. They gave her employment at a medical center, and then through that, we were able to assist her with getting affordable housing. And so now she's living in her own apartment in a senior building.
That's another great story of resilience and courage to look at the opportunities in front of her and do what it takes to make them a reality, right?
Absolutely.
That's wonderful. And then just before we run out of time, I just wonder if both of you could sort of reflect on everything we've talked about today. And if anybody in our audience knows someone who's homeless or on the brink of being homeless, what would you say to them today? Millicent, can I start again with you?
Yes, there's no need, if you are behind, one thing we've noticed is for the homelessness prevention, people wait too long to get help. So if you are behind with your rent in a month, please don't wait for 3-4 months before you call us. Please call as soon as you need the help, and we can assist you so that you don't enter into the homeless system.
That's great advice. And again, that phone number is 312-655-7700, or you can email gethelp@catholiccharities.net and visit our website at catholiccharities.net. Angela, how about you? Anything to add to what Millicent said?
We just encourage seniors to reach out for assistance. Sometimes seniors think that by asking for help, they're going to lose their independence, but our programs are designed to help maintain their independence. So I would encourage any senior to reach out for assistance by calling that same number, 312-655-7700.
That's a great a point to add, Angela. I'd also like to share that over the past decade, Catholic Charities has been part of a number of national studies on poverty and homelessness prevention. Much of this work has been done with the Laboratory for Economic Opportunity, or the LEO program at the University of Notre Dame. And in particular, Catholic Charities' work has been really instrumental in helping prevent homelessness by citing reduced poverty we've been part of Catholic Charities' work in helping prevent homelessness in reducing poverty nationwide by talking about ways of homelessness prevention, as Millicent talked about, that there's been studies that we've contributed data to that say there's huge savings nationwide in helping people if you prevent homelessness, or instead of them getting into homelessness, and then states and federal funding is then imbued into the process to help them emerge from homelessness. It's better to prevent homelessness than work with folks who are already homeless. Isn't that right, Millicent and Angela?
Yes. Yes.
From a financial standpoint, but also from a personal standpoint, of course. And so our colleagues, Mary Ann Zalati and Tracy Blackburn, are leading Catholic Charities efforts with Leo. But I just wanted to add that to our conversation today and all that Millicent and Angela have said. You know, you both, Angela and Millicent, I just want to say thank you so much for being on the show today and helping us all grow in awareness for how difficult life can be when you're homeless or on the verge of being homeless, and for sharing an update on all of the hopeful options that Catholic Charities is able to provide those who come to us for housing assistance. You're both so skilled at what you do every day, and we wish you continued success in your work in 2024, and I wish you both a very happy New Year as well.
Same to you, and thank you very much.
You as well.
Thanks for being on the show today. And we invite all of you back again next week for another edition of The Voice of Charity. For now, this is Katie Bredemann, and we thank you for tuning in and believing in the mission of Catholic Charities.